Okay, all right. I think we are officially live. What's going on, everybody? My name is Javon Henry. Online, I was known as Jay the VA, and I am a full-time voiceover artist. And I just wanted to stop in, and I know I've said this a million times via post, a million times in a million other ways. Thank you guys so much. 451 absolutely amazing creators in this community who are all looking to enhance their artistry, whether you're a voiceover artist, whether you're content creators, whether no matter what you do, for some reason you found it good to follow a schmuck like me. So thank you guys so much. I am so appreciative. YouTube has always been a platform that I've wanted to educate and teach others and have people follow along on the journey. So I just want to say thank you guys. You guys are all meaningful, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Okay. With that said, I also wanted to take this time and answer some of the questions that I get that I haven't made a dedicated video on. I always say this as well. If there's anything that you want to know, ask me, and there's a high chance that I'll make a dedicated video on it. So let's go ahead and go over some of the questions that I have gotten from the community. One of the number one questions that I get is how to actually get into voiceover, how to get into voice acting. And this to me, it is just like getting really into any kind of craft, whether you want to be a musician, whether you want to be a painter, whether you want to be a sculptor, it's really the same for all of them. You need to actually want to do it. Like you need the passion to actually want to do it, not just say that you want to do it, but really want to pursue it because it will take a long time. It is something that's difficult to do, but that's okay. So you need that passion and you need training in some way, shape, or form. Now, this doesn't have to be formalized training. You don't have to go specifically to an acting school or to an audio engineering school. You don't even have to go to a college for it in general. You don't have to take classes. I always struggle to say that you have to do anything in a career that's completely based on acting. It doesn't make sense to say that you have to do anything because you don't have to do anything at all. Fix this microphone. Okay. But you do need training. Now, whether that is you go ahead and just start making YouTube videos, you start making shorts, you start making short films, you start making skits, you start doing something with your friends, you start writing out scripts and then just voicing them. You need to start doing something. And this is how I started. I started by having a notebook. I still have this notebook. And I would literally just write down scripts that came into my head. So if it was for a McDonald's commercial, I'd make a witty script for a McDonald's commercial. I'd record it and then I'd listen to it back and I'd listen to what's something that I can change. Like, does this sound like it belongs in a commercial or does it sound like it's just some guy in his house just recording something? And that's the difference. You don't want to sound like you're reading something. You want to sound like it is a actual commercial. And that's what you're going for. Okay. So you take these scripts, you start writing them, you start reading them, you start doing it, and this is how you learn. This is how you learn the skill of recording yourself, the skill of listening to your own voice, the skill of how far to position the microphone, the skill of all of this. You actually do it and you make mistakes and you learn from those mistakes. Aside from that, you get books, you go to online forums, you go to online websites like myself, hopefully, and there are a whole bunch of amazing resources, booth junkies, absolutely amazing. There are a lot of beautiful YouTube. Do is you want to start to actually market yourself. These you've practiced, you have your samples. That's all great. It's all amazing. All this, you have to start putting those samples onto online workstations. And yes, we've talked about this. Let me make sure. Okay, we're still live. We've talked about this over and over and over again. And I'll keep talking about it till the day I die. Put those samples out there. It's okay if they're bad. You will get better. You will slowly but surely get better. It's the same path that I took. My first samples sucked, but they slowly and surely got better. After this, you can build it up and yada, yada, yada. I will put the link to the video. It's one of the first videos that I made about how to actually get a career in voiceover, but this is the short and steady, right? You need to learn how to do it, and that is by doing it. Don't just take books or don't just read books. Don't just take seminars. Don't just do you need to actually record yourself, listen to it back, write scripts, read scripts, and do it. Practice every single day. All right. The second most popular question that I get asked, where to actually record, as in spaces. So my background is I'm an audio engineer. Audio engineering is my trade. It's what I've done for the last 6, 7 years. I used to run a production studio. Well, I still run a production studio, but audio engineering used to be my thing, right? And one of the things that scares a lot of voiceover talent is you always think that you need a soundproof environment versus a sound treated environment. You don't need at all any type of soundproofing as a voiceover artist. If you're in the middle of a city, soundproofing might help. If there's a lot of sound around you, you might need some soundproofing. 95% of the time, you don't need soundproofing, just sound treatment. And that literally is soft things on your surface. I'm recording from inside of a car right now, and it sounds damn good. Like I could record a commercial in here, no problem. No problem whatsoever. And it's not soundproof, right? It's just a quiet area. But inside the car, there's a bunch of soft stuff. There's no reverb, like I can clap. There's no reverb, no echo, no weird sound, no weird frequencies. All you need is a room full of soft stuff. Whether you have foam on the walls, whether you use moving blankets, experiment and see what works for you. Yes, there are professional solutions that cost $200 for a box of 12 square foam panels. That's not necessary, right? Experiment with putting soft stuff all around your environment and see what works the best for you. I'm telling you, you don't need to be soundproof, just sound treated. I made my first 2 years full time in a closet, literally just a closet full of clothes. It is possible, it is doable. And I also made a video about that. That's the first video that actually went viral on this YouTube channel. It's probably one of the reasons why you guys mostly subscribed. So that's it. You don't need any type of sound proofing, just sound treatment. All right, let's go ahead and delve into some of these questions. Demos. That's a really big one. There's a lot of conflicting opinions about demos, right? There's a difference between a voice reel and a voice demo. 95% of the time, you guys are going to be making voice reels, not voice demos. Now, what's the difference? A voice reel and a voice demo are damn near the same. The difference is the voice demo needs to sound like it is a batch of commercials that you took off of TV or sections from an animated show or video game sections. You get the point. It needs to sound like it's a triple A production with you want the background, you want the sound effects, you want the actual mixing and mastering and vocal effects, all of that stuff. And you want to put it, this is for a voice demo, you want to put it together and have that tell the story. And when you send that to people, it will sound like it is straight from the source. It's a video game, it is a animation, it is a commercial, right? That's what you want your voice demo to sound like. Your voice reel, on the other hand, it's just it's a small collection of auditions, or if you get the gig, finalized files that you kind of just put together in the same type of entity, right? It's the same type of they flow all together, but you don't need the full production of it, right? You don't need necessarily the background and the sound effects. You should still mix and master it to your best ability. But I am very much so a proponent that you can, if you have the skills, create, mix, master, direct your own demo reel, right? It's what got me all of the work that I've ever gotten. My demo reel is self-produced. Now, I do have the luxury of having audio engineering as my background. I'm not gonna discount that, but that does not mean that it is not possible to self-produce your own demo. There are a couple of things that you need to do. There's some research and some background insight that you need to know, but you can definitely produce your own demo. I have a series on my YouTube channel about producing your own demo. So that's still an ongoing one. Right now, it's only in the research phase for the first video, but we are making a second video about script writing. So stay tuned for that one. But I do believe that you can make your own voiceover demo. Okay. One of the things that I also get asked a lot about, do you need to go to a large hub in order to be a voice actor, right? Do you need to be in New York? Do you need to be in LA? Do you need to be in any Chicago, Atlanta? Do you need to be in any of these huge voiceover hubs in order to get work? And the answer is yes slash mostly no. Why I say yes slash mostly no. If you're in certain sections of voiceover, like if you're a commercial voiceover artist, you can be anywhere you want to be. It doesn't really matter, right? The hard thing and the most challenging thing is that there is still a fight for the in studio voiceover artist. There is still a fight against the work from home voiceover artist. Now, that's not to say that that's because the quality is any different. The quality of a voiceover artist, it's the same whether you're in the studio or in your at home studio, right? The issue is the perspective of video games, animation, anime. A lot of these specific genres of voiceover prefer you be in studio so that all of the actors use the same microphone, have the same exact tonal quality inside their studio setup, are able to be live directed so that there is no patching over the phone, there is no source connecting into your studio. They prefer you be there because it takes away a lot of the logistical challenges. Now, is that fair to a lot of the talent all over the world who want to get into this craft? No, obviously not. And some companies are more than willing, and saying more than willing makes it sound like they have reservations. They're happy and excited to work with people from all over the world, from every walk of life. The issue is to get some of those jobs, to get some of those opportunities that you might want, it might be easier if you were in one of those major hubs. Now, once again, that doesn't mean that you have to. Like, I got a lot of video game work working from inside my trailer. I got a lot of animation work working from inside my trailer in my home studio. But there is a lot of work still, even for voiceover artists, not on-screen talent, not theater, but voiceover artists, where they say you need to be recording from LA. You need to be near Burbank. You need to be near Anaheim. You need to be near Atlanta. They still want you there because it's logistically more easy for them. Now, none of this is to dissuade you. You are a perfectly legitimate voiceover artist, no matter where you record from. 100%. I started from in my home studio, and I'm still going to record in my home studio for the rest of my career. If I need to go into something, yeah, we can talk about that. But it's not going to be me moving specifically to record in a studio for one client. That's not happening. But that's a question that I get asked. Is it possible to record in your home studio and be a voiceover artist? The answer is yes. Does it limit some of your opportunities? Yeah, that's the long and short of it. But it is possible. It's what I'm doing, and it's what I will continue doing. So, there are two people watching. Hey, how are you doing, Princess? How are you doing today? Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat, and I'll go ahead and answer. Until then, I will keep on with these questions. Okay, so I have a question here about equipment. What type of equipment do you need to actually pursue a voiceover career? Okay. In order to pursue a voiceover career, you need only a couple of things. You need a computer, you need some type of interface, and you need a microphone. That's pretty much it, right? There's a wide range of different microphones. Like, there are thousands of different microphones you can get, thousands of different computers you can get, thousands of different DAWs, digital audio workstations that you can get to actually record and edit your audio. There's a lot of different things that you can do. Bare minimum, it depends on what you're going for. If you're going for industry leading jobs, you need specific types of equipment. And if you're going for, I want to have fun, this is a hobby, it's going to be a completely different kit of equipment, obviously, right? You can do this with and I would get slaughtered for saying this, but it's true. You can do it with a USB microphone on your computer. You can completely do this gig. Is that going to be okay if you want to record for an agency and get on Disney and get on Netflix and get on your favorite anime? No, you're going to need certain type of equipment. That's obvious. But don't let anybody say that you need tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment in order to get in a voiceover. You can easily get in a voiceover with about $150 to $200 worth of equipment, not including your computer, right? Your computer is going to cost whatever it costs. But as far as your microphone, it doesn't have to be expensive. And if you want, I'll actually create a list of equipment from best to worst that you guys can all reference whenever it comes to equipment. And if you have any questions, once again, go ahead and reach out and ask, and I'll be more than happy to help. But yeah, so don't worry too much about your equipment. You can use USB microphones, and then once you start to have and make more money, you can then increase your budget to increase your equipment to get better equipment so that you can sound better in turn. But don't worry about that. All right. More questions. I think we'll take about two or three more questions here. Okay, so a question when it comes to, oh, hang on, we have one question. Should a year of voiceover training be enough to start a voiceover career? That's a great question. This is something that I actually was going to make a video about this week, but I got put on delay. It was a video about to class or not to class, right? Taking voiceover classes. When I first got started in voiceover, I was completely untrained, right? I had some background in theater, but I was mostly a musician, right? I've been a musician for the past 15 years. Then I went directly into audio engineering, learning how to run a studio because I wanted to open and run my own production studio. So, as far as classes for voice acting and acting in general, it was way on the back burner, right? Like, I've been taking things here and there, and I've been in that crowd and just doing like improv stuff, but never actually formalized acting classes. That just wasn't me, wasn't my path. And a year of voiceover training will be enough to start to land commercial clients and start to land gigs, no matter what. Like, don't let anybody tell you that it won't. However, um, I'm of the belief that you should be taking classes to re-energize and re-up your passion and keep learning for the duration that you're in the career of voiceover, of acting in general. Now, that's not to say these classes have to be like hugely expensive. You don't have to take one every day. You don't have to take one every week, but like bi-weekly, once every 2 weeks, once a month, just take an acting class with a casting director. And I'll tell you the benefit of that as well in a second, with a casting director, so that you learn what new things are integral and important and looked for in the world of voiceover. And let me give you an example. This wasn't 2 years ago. This is probably like 4 or 5 years ago now. The most famous sound was the sound of an announcer. They wanted a disc jockey. They wanted someone who sounded like this. They knew what they were talking about. They were ready to go. That was the sound that people wanted 5 years ago. But through classes with casting directors, a casting director will tell you, we're not looking for that sound anymore. Like, if you submit an audition with that sound, you more than likely will be skipped over. They're now looking for someone who's more conversational. They want someone to read a script like I'm talking to you guys right now. They want it to sound like a human, even if it sounds a little bit messy, even if it doesn't sound as polished. That's what they want. And you learn this by taking classes with casting directors. And that's the second benefit. The reason why I love taking classes, especially with casting directors, is because they can tell you how the industry is trending, right? They can give you information on what your reads need to be in order to get work. And that is one of the biggest benefits to actually taking these classes, right? You stay up on the industry trends. You keep learning what you need to do in order to polish your craft, in order to polish yourself. So, long way around answering your question, but do I feel like you need classes forever to stay up on it? Yes. But do I feel like you need more than a year's worth of training? No. Some people are able to do this just intuitively right off the bat. But we're actually going to, I hope that answered your question. Thank you so much. We are going to cut this short. It is 1:02. I actually, speaking of classes, have a class that I have to attend right now. So Thank you guys so much. Once again, thank you to all of my lovely subscribers. You all are amazing, and I wouldn't be here without you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next video and in the next live stream. Bye.